Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm very serious. And it's getting very, very serious, guys. And let me just share with you, I mean, we're in the end times, okay? We're in the last days, guys. And let me just share with you, we are in the last days. There's no question about it. And the nuclear apocalypse is upon us. Let me share that with you in just a moment. First, let's put a shout out real quick to noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. You see, it's almost 2023. Nothing is really changing. The policies are going to stay the same because you've got a divided government. So the high taxation, the high inflation, the gas prices, the empty shelves, the whole thing you've been dealing with is not going to change but get worse in the next 2 years. So with this year ending, things are going to be more expensive than they were when we started the year. We all love the holidays, but for some, it's going to be too great to overcome. And this is just the beginning of what looks like could be a bad recession. But it's not too late to avoid the same thing happening again. Thousands of people have retired comfortably with the help of noblegoldinvestment.com. And because they set up a gold or silver IRA. If you've been a hesitant investor, but one of the handful of Americans who has believed that can find safety in the gold or silver, it's time to act now. And what you do is you simply take a look at your savings and say how much of it you would like to put in a gold or silver IRA, or maybe just roll your 401k into that gold or silver IRA. Look, Noble Gold will give you this beautiful 3 ounces of pure silver. It's called the American Virtue Coin, the Silver American Virtue Coin, Thomas Jefferson on the front. They'll give this to you for free if you set up a gold or silver IRA, $20,000 or more. You'll get that for free. I tell you, you'll love the coin. It's a great collector's item, but more importantly, you'll like the fact that you're no longer watching your savings or your retirement fund erode. Go to noblegoldinvestment.com. I put the link below. Just click on it, take you straight there, or pick up the phone and call Colin Plumer, one of his associates, at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347, and tell him Pastor Paul sent you there. All right. So, yes, the end is near. Okay. Let's just be honest. The end is near. We know that. The Bible said there'll be wars and rumors of wars. Behind me is this incredible, incredible explosion, nuclear detonation, the mushroom cloud, which brings so much dread because it's not just the area of the explosion, but it's the shock wave and the radiation fallout that everyone knows is so devastating. So this is insane. What does this all mean? Well, there was a report that just came out. Now, today I'm going to be on Larry Ragland's show called The Big Picture. You'll be able to watch that today at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe it is, over at The Big Picture with Larry Ragland on his YouTube channel, okay? And that's called The Big Picture with Larry Ragland. So don't miss that because we always get into some really good stuff. That's going to be good. Now, let me tell you what's going on here, because there was an article just came out talking about the end of days. But the problem you have with this article here is, they're putting it all on climate change or climate disruption or different thing. But really, nuclear detonation, and we're very close now to a nuclear apocalypse. For thousands of years, predictions of the apocalypse have been on people's minds. But with dangers rising from nuclear war and also the changes upon the climate due to the effects of Planet X, really, does the planet need to at least begin contemplating the worst? When the world rang into 2022, few would have expected this year to feature a U.S. president speaking of the risk of doomsday following Russia's threats to go nuclear in an invasion with Ukraine. We have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since President John F. Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. Joe Biden said that in October of this year. And on the year the humanity welcomed its 8th billion member, 8 billion people on this planet, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned that the planet was on a highway to climate hell. What? But is he telling us the truth? Why the climate is changing so radically? No, they're not. Have you heard the word binary system? Planet X, Nibiru, planet number 9, the effects of this gravitational pull. You're hearing none of those. You're hearing just carbon footprint. Now, in extremes widely attributed to climate change, we've seen floods submerge 1/3 of Pakistan. China sweat under an unprecedented 70-day heat wave they've never heard before. Crops failing and out there in the Horn of Africa. And all the while, the world's lagged behind on its goals to try to deal with a climate that has warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. That's 2.7 degrees. The planet has increased in heat since the 1940s. So the global challenges. There's even a group called the Swedish group, the assets called the Global Challenges Foundation. They're taking a look at catastrophic risk. They warned in their annual report that the greatest it's ever been. Nuclear weapon threat is the greatest it's been since 1945, when the United States destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan in history's only atomic bomb attacks. But the report warned that an all-out exchange of nuclear weapons, besides causing an enormous loss of life, would trigger clouds of dust that would obscure the sun, reducing the capacity to grow food and ushering in a period of chaos and violence during which most of the surviving world population could face death from hunger. Now, Kenneth Benedict, a lecturer at the University of Chicago, who led the report's nuclear sections, he said the risks were even greater than during the Cuban Missile Crisis, when Russian President Vladimir Putin appeared less restrained by advisors. And while any Russian nuclear strike would likely involve small tactical nukes, experts feared a quick escalation if the United States responds. Then we're in a completely different ballgame, Benedict said, a senior advisor to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, which in January will reveal its latest assessment of the doomsday clock since 2021, when they moved the clock to within 100 seconds to midnight. And amid the focus on Ukraine, U.S. intelligence believes that North Korea is ready for a 7th nuclear test. Diplomacy has been at a standstill on Iran's contested nuclear work, and tensions between India and Pakistan have remained at a low boil. But Benedict also faulted the Biden administration nuclear posture review, which reserves the right for the United States to use nuclear weapons in extreme circumstances. He said, I think there's been a kind of steady erosion of the ability to manage nuclear weapons. Now, UN experts estimate ahead of November talks in Egypt that the world was on track to the warming of 2.1 to 2.9 degrees Celsius. But some outside analysts put the figure well higher, with greenhouse gases emissions in 2021 again hitting record highs despite pushes for renewable energy. And Luke Kemp, a Cambridge, because it's not about, let me just tell you why it's going up. You can do all the green initiatives you want, guys. You can do all the, don't wash your towels for 3 days. You can change all the light bulbs to low level lights. We could do rolling blackouts. You could do whatever you want to do. You could shut the whole power grid down 12 hours a day for the whole world if you want to. We can all go back to riding bicycles or cars. Or horses. You can do whatever you want to do, dude. You're not going to stop the climate apocalypse because it has nothing really to do with humanity. This planet is facing the soon wrath of God. And we're going to see the sign of the coming of the Lord. And the earth is going to melt with a fervent heat. Peter told us this in 2 Peter chapter 3. This has nothing to do with man-made climate adjustment or change. It has everything to do with the coming of Jesus Christ and the birthing pains of the last days. Planet X, Nibiru, planet number 9, call it whatever you want, this binary system, it's just playing its role in God bringing about the end of days. However he wants to do it is totally up to him. And you still got people saying the earth is flat. And yes, and all these things that are going on, it's absolutely crazy where we're at. But can I read to you 2 Peter 3? Let me read this to you because it's unbelievable that we still have scientists are still trying to push on us that it's all about our fault. You know, yeah, we might be 1%, 2% of the entire change of carbon. I don't even know if we're that really. We look at the volcanoes that are going off and all of the different things that are happening that are just natural phenomenon due to the pressure and we're not. Let me just say something. If we're causing it, then why is Mars getting hotter? Why is Venus? Why is Saturn? Why is every planet in our solar system reeling and rocking like a drunkard, experiencing planetary heat and over going through the same things? Volcanoes are erupting, earthquakes are happening, comets are crashing into them. They're globally warming every one of the planets. There's nobody living on those planets, so why are they having such greenhouse gas problems? Why is their world getting hotter? The same reason ours is. It is the end of days. God is bringing about an end to this, starting over fresh with a brand new earth, a brand new heaven and earth. And that means heavens, not just our planet. The whole shebang is going. He's going to cleanse it all, start fresh with a new heaven and a new earth. Bible tells us that, but there will be false prophets among the people, even as there were false teachers among you, who privately shall bring a damnable heresy or a false doctrine, which right now is this Green New Deal, even denying the Lord that brought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. Are we not seeing that today? They don't believe there's a God. They're denying there's a God. They say there is no God. They say they are God. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of the truth shall be evil spoken of. Is this not happening? Many people are following this green new mentality while denying Jesus Christ and speak evil of the truth. And through the covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you, that's taxing you, to help fix the climate, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. In other words, it's coming. The damnation upon these that are doing these things, it's no longer asleep. The damnation is no longer asleep. It's coming. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them in the chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, he spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. He turned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. He delivered just Lot, who's vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man dwelleth among them, is seeing and hearing, and vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. He's going to get his children out of this sin-sick world, basically. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. So, guys, that's 2 Peter chapter 2. And if you go into 2 Peter 3, he tells you how the earth is going to melt with a fervent heat. Here's what he said. This is 2 Peter 3:3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of. Willingly. They believe false science, false heresies. And by the word of God, the heavens were of old, the earth standing out of the water and in the water. Whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. So we know God destroyed the earth once with water. He's not going to do that again. That's what the rainbow is really about. But instead, the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto the fire against the day of judgment and the perdition or hell of ungodly men. So, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. There's no time with God. So he's not in a hurry. He will move slow or move quick. God moves. God's time is not our time. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing. Okay, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but he's long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, when we least expect it, and which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, the works that are therein, shall be burned up. So it's coming. It's coming. The apocalypse, the nuclear apocalypse, I think we'll have a nuclear apocalypse before we have the final judgment of God. I think man will devastate himself, but he won't wipe himself completely out. God will finish us off. God may end it before we do it to ourselves, but we won't completely wipe ourselves out. But we are going to see catastrophic, cataclysmic events from nuclear annihilation. And I've been saying that we're going to have a tactical nuke, a technical nuke strike very, very soon. I actually thought maybe before the end of this year. It still could happen. But certainly we're just within months of it. The first strike. And I believe it will be done. And that there will be no response. Because as you just read, as we just said in that article, if we respond, then you might have escalation and total, massive devastation. So let's wait and see how this all plays out. Okay, let's see how this all plays out. But we certainly are living in the last days. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We are in the end times. Play a song. And I'm going to let you go. Don't forget, I'm going to be live. I'm going to be doing a show with Bishop Larry Ragland today. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be awesome. It really is. He was saying grace over a Tuesday blue plate special when the man in the next booth said, "Don't you watch TV? Don't you know that God's a myth? I hate to see you waste your breath. There ain't no use in you talking to a ghost that don't exist." The praying man said amen and looked up from his plate and said, "You may not talk to God right now, but there's gonna come a day. If you're a farmer in the field, praying for the rain, or you curse him at the gravesite, 'cause he called a loved one's name, you can thank him, you can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him, whether you believe in him or not. In the end, everybody talks to God. The man in the booth went quiet because he didn't have a comeback. So he shrugged it off and he paid his tab. He shuffled out the door. And the praying man, he prayed for the man who drove away, hoping he would see the light before it got too late. Oh, but how was he to know he touched an unbeliever's soul? Who got that conversation 2 red lights down the road? If you're a farmer in the field, praying for the rain, or you cursing at the gravesite because you called a loved one's name, you can thank him, you can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him, whether you believe in him or not. In the end, everybody talks to God. Everybody talks to God. You can thank him, you can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him, whether you believe in him or not. 'Cause in the end, everybody talks to God. Everybody talks to God. Everybody, you need to get saved, folks. We all talk to God. Everybody talks to God. Yep, it's a great song, and it really, the serious part about it is we all are going to face the Lord. Give your life to Jesus Christ. I'll be back. Don't forget, I'm going to be live with Larry Ragland today at around 2 or 2:30, or I think you'll be able to see it on his YouTube channel called The Big Picture. I'm going to be live today at noon, so don't miss it. I'll be live today at noon. I'm going to be in the Salvation Station with Brock, so don't miss it. I have a rundown on everything that's going on at noon today. Don't miss that broadcast on the coming apocalypse. Are you serious?